it's Liz Yuille from Old Staples Crafts again. Welcome back to my YouTube channel. Thank you very much for joining me today. Today's project is this one. This is something quite new to me. It's a shadow box. I have done them before, but it's a long time since I've done one. The joy with this is that it folds completely flat and will fit into a standard envelope, which means that although it's a 3D effect, you only have to pay standard postage. So that's always good, certainly in the UK. I can't talk about other regions because I don't know about them. So, as I say, this is today's project. I'm going to step it up a wee bit for the version that you see, but it uses, just to go through some of the basic stuff, the Hearts Come Home bundle, which is on page 39 of the new Autumn and Winter catalogue, which I know I keep saying it, but it's gorgeous. So this is the lovely new bundle, and it's got all these stamps, which you can make stamped villages out of. You've got Santa and his sleigh, you've got stars and a moon and a little whiff of smoke that you can put on top of the candles, and some really lovely sentiment images. So joy to the world, merry and bright, enjoy the warmth of the season, wishing you a beautiful season and a new year of peace and happiness, and all hearts come home for Christmas, hence the name of the stamp set. And then the matching thinlets, which are what I've used to make this card. So these are the thinlets, and it's got this cute little tag topper as well, which has got a heart, which is really sweet. So there's that, and then there's this little row of houses here, more stars, and then the three pieces that we're going to be using for the project. So let's get started, because it is quite a complicated one, and I'm just hoping I can get it right. Because doing it in the privacy of your own home without a camera and doing it live on camera, or as live on camera, two slightly different things. So the first thing I am going to bring down is my tear and tape, because that will be my friend, because that's going to be my main adhesive. We've got a little bit of embossing to do at the back, and then some scoring and die cut work. I have already prepared the two back rows, but the principle for the front row will be the same. As ever, all the dimensions will be on my blog, which is linked below, and it goes straight to this blog post. So no fussing around trying to find the post for Wednesday the 6th of September. It's there. So let's start with some basic measurements and we will work from there. So Night of Navy cardstock, and this is a piece of A4 cardstock that I've just cut in half, what I think is colloquially in the US known as hot dog, rather than burger. So I've literally just cut it in half down the long middle. Then I have got, and as I say, I've pre-die cut some of these, 3 bits of the thick Whisper White, so there's a bit more stability. I have got the one that I used for this piece, which is actually the middle piece, but it's got this tall church spire. So this was, they're all 5 3/8 wide. Although actually these are more like 5 1/4, but cut them at 5 3/8 and it will be better. So they're all 5 3/8, and this one is 3.5. This one is 3 inches, and this one's 2.5 inches. As I say, the measurements, including metric, will be on my blog post. And then I've scored each of these at 1/2 inch and 4 7/8 inches. Because the final measurement of the frame is 4 3/8 across, and then it's 4 3/8 by just under 4 1/4. So it's not quite square. Right. Okay. So let's not knock our Christmas tree down. Do be very careful. This has been in a box, which is why it's a bit wibbly wobbly. So let's start by scoring this. because we're then going to need to die cut it. So with the long side at the top of your scoring board and your scoring tool, we are going to score at 4 3/8. Make sure that's well scored. 5 5/8. 10 inches and 11 1/4 inches. So that's that done. Don't need the scoring tool anymore. Let's just burnish those first and then we'll die cut this. You can either die cut, or if you're very good with a trimmer or a knife and a steel ruler, you can use that. But I know my limitations. So this is going to be the front. So I am going to use my layering squares, and I am going to bring these out and try and remember which one I used. I'm fairly certain it was the largest, but let me just check. You'd think writing it down would be a plan. It was the largest. Okay, so it's not a square. Just saying, it's not a square. So I'm actually going to, for once, bring my big shot in, and hopefully you will be able to see what I'm doing. So I am going to take the magnetic platform and my very loved cutting plate. I'm going to lay my cardstock on there. It doesn't matter which way round you go first. What you're looking for is for this to be a kind of nice gap, and slightly wider at the bottom. Really unscientific, I know, but you know, there we go. Then feed your top cutting plate through, and don't have it over the end, so have it in from the end, so that will avoid it actually cutting where you don't want it to. So let's wind that through, and that's that. Let's whiz it back. Ooh, or take part of it back. Then, can you actually see what? Yes, you can. Good grief. Okay, so I'm then going to take this off, and you will see that we've got this flap. So I'm going to line it up again, getting the grooves into the cut line, because the grooves are here, so I can feel when this die is in the grooves. And then I'm going to line it up so it's the same distance from this end as it was from that. And this time I'm going to run it through with the cutting plate not over the other end of the die, so that it only cuts that end. And this is where we discover whether it's worked. So keep your fingers crossed. And it has. Marvellous! Love it when a plan comes together. So that's that. I'm going to leave this in because I might as well do the die cutting for the remaining piece of our jigsaw puzzle. So I need the final die from the die set, and I will then go through how I've decided which one is which. So these are on a curve, as you can see. So you want them so that the houses are not falling down the hill. And as it happens, they are just about the right width to cut across the size of the piece of card that I have got. You would, well, to the crease, you'd think I'd planned it. It's really frightening sometimes how these things work. So that I'm going to cover up completely and run it through my big shot. I am then going to go back and forward a couple of times, and I'm sorry for the jolting. I just want to make sure that everything is properly cut. Now you could at this point bring in your die brush, but I have to say I have found that the bits come out quite easily without, and I don't want to be too brutal with the bit that I've got left. So let's take that off, and of course, famous last words, pretty much everything hasn't popped out, but with the aid of a bit of piercing tool, it will. So And as I say, I want to make sure that I'm not too rough with this, because as we've discovered with the Christmas tree on one of the other pieces, they are a little delicate. So while I'm doing this, let me bring out the other dies so you can see them. So the reason I have gone in the order that I have, so this at the front, then this one, and then this one, can you see them? Oh, yes, you can, is purely and simply because that's the size of the houses. So these are the largest, and these are the smallest, and the others are the ones in between. So logic tells me that these are at the front, and then we slowly work backwards. Now these wibbly wobblies on the top of this roof do come out reasonably easily once you've got them started. So I would poke them from the bottom of the wibbly wobbly first, and then pull it away, and it's come away without any problem. So yeah, not a problem at all. The windows, however, seem to want to stay put. So I'm hoping, there's a number of things I need to talk about. I'm hoping that by now you've all had a good old look at the new catalogue, and you've got your wish lists building up. Now, there is, and I've had some information about this on my blog already, there is an offer that is on. It's running until the end of October, and it is for a free stamp set. You need to put in a qualifying order, and the qualifying order can be a group of you getting together and putting in one order, or it can be just one very large order. Needless to say, I fall into the former, the very large order category, because I've had to do a restock anyway. So if you spend on my online store £250 or more in one order, you will get free, gratis and for nothing the Merry Patterns stamp set. That is available in English, French and German, so you can opt to take a foreign language or not English if you wish. I do know some people who will take that option, even though they live in England, or in the UK, I should say. Sorry, Scotland, Wales and Northern Ireland. I'm just going to finish the line across so that we can get rid of the background. So yes, so that is one option. The other option is if you use my Hostess Code, then anyone who uses that on an order between £25 but not over £150, I will put you into a draw for that set. So yeah, there we go. And the more you spend, the more entries you will have, because it'll be £25 per, £25 spend per entry, so £50 gets 2 entries, etc, etc. Right, okay, we're on 13 minutes and we need to get going. So I have got my back. I'm just going to do a quick bit of stamping, which would be so much easier if I had my Versamark out. Here's a Versamark. It's not the one I was looking for, but it will do. So we are going to put Santa's little sleigh across the back of our... Need an embossing buddy. Where's my embossing buddy? There it is. This is the problem with shooting lots of videos at once. I put everything, when I've shot the video, in fact before I've shot the video, I put everything in one of these little baskets so that I know what I need for each project. The problem is if you're using doing multiple projects that use the same thing, that kind of doesn't work quite so well. So, okay, let's try that again. So ink up our Santa and his sleigh. Bear in mind that we need to come down, and I want it to be reasonably central. And there we go. Yep, that looks okay. So let's pop that away and pop that to one side to be cleaned later. White embossing powder. and just dribble that over our image and flick it off. Just going to try adding a little bit more. Sometimes the second go gives it a little bit more. Yep, that's a bit more coverage. It is worth just giving it another little go every now and again. Right, back in the box. Okay, heat tool and cheese board. Where's my cheese board gone? There it is. Cheese board. I can't do anything without my cheese board. So let's just click that on and heat up my... the other thing that is going on at the moment until this Sunday afternoon is my paper and ribbon share. So if you want to have a go at that, please let me know before Sunday so that we can sort out payments and stuff. There is a blog post on that and it's linked. The blog post, the original blog post, is linked in the information on the blog post for this video. So let me know about that, because the last order that I will put in for that will be Monday next week. So, that's hot. Ow, ow, ow. Right, okay, so the way I put this together was, first of all I need to, oh, I've wobbled my wibble. That's because my wibble is getting finished. Is I folded one forward and one, in fact I didn't, I folded them all forwards. I lie. So let's fold them all forwards. So just scrawl these gently, don't get too involved with the housing, because we don't want our houses to get damaged, and certainly don't want our trees to get damaged. So, silence. Ooh, radio silence, that's scary. So let's do the weather update. It's always fun to have a weather update, isn't it? I'm just going to put tear and tape on each of these while I'm doing that. So I'm filming this at the very beginning of September, and inevitably, having had a really quite dull and dreary August, apart from the bank holiday, which was amazing, apart from when I fell off my bicycle. So it's actually quite a nice day today. It's not very warm, but it's actually, for this summer, not a bad day. But that's, as I say, fairly inevitable, because certainly around us, schools are back by the time you see this. So it always was, oops, let's put it on both ends. It always was the way, I seem to remember, that school would go back and the summer would start properly. So, yeah. There we go. Tomorrow, when you see this, it will be for tomorrow. I've got one of my events that involves kiddies. So children, or children and their parents / carers. So I'm looking forward to that. It will be quite exciting to see how that goes. It's a new venture for me and for the people that I'm working with on that. So that's all good fun. While I'm doing sticky stuff, I will pop some sticky stuff down here. You could use fast fuse on this, but as I've got my tear and tape out, let's use the tear and tape. So that's that. I like to just make sure it's properly down, certainly on that. Less important on the other bits because they aren't having quite so much pressure put on them. Right, okay, let's see if I can remember how I did this. So this goes at the back, and that is the back. So let's just check that I know what I'm doing. Yes, good, okay. Love it when a plan comes together. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to remove the backing from each of these and just line them up. Actually, I'll do it this way up because then I can see what I'm doing a bit better. Line it up so that it's parallel to the crease here. Then flip that over. then this is the second one. Remember, this is the back. You want the back facing this way for this bit. Or certainly it's fine. Yeah, you do. Procrastination City, isn't it lovely? Don't you love it? Where are we? 20 minutes. Oh, we're doing all right. So then pop this one there, and again we want that lined up without breaking its roof. And then this one, actually I'm just going to trim a little bit off there. And line this up. No, it was the wrong side. It should have been this side. But I am still going to need to have trimmed that off. I'm just going to stick one of these bits back over there so I don't get that stuck in the wrong place. So then this one just lines up there. So there we are. I am actually, so I'm going to adjust some of the measurements that I have put because these are actually a bit longer than I had thought they were going to be. So you will need to look at the blog post because the measurements were wrong. Okay, so all we need to do now is do it in reverse order. So, yeah, right, okay, so take that off, and you need to make sure that these are held up out of the way until we're ready to go for gold. So, you'd think I'd never done this before, wouldn't you? Well, it's been a while, so it sort of is that I've never done it before. So we want that one down, then we want, this is what I should be doing, then we want, don't you love it when these things don't go quite according to plan? That one shouldn't have gone down yet. Let's do this properly. Right, all we have to do is take the tapes off all of them and do that. Hurrah! Then, because you will see they are there. It's painful, it really is painful. Then take that off, and with that all squished down, line that up. Oh, and there we are! Hurrah, hurrah! So that's our next one. I am just going to, as I say, I'm going to step it up a wee bit. I am going to bring in some enamel-y bits, and I want the metallic enamel shapes, and all I'm going to do is add a little star in the back there, and then another one just there, and that is everything. Phew, you know, I dreaded doing that, and I nearly was right. Anyway, hurrah. If I can see how to do it live on camera, you can definitely do it. As I say, I'll adjust the measurements because they are slightly too generous on the white cardstock. So I'll adjust the measurements and where you're scoring. Basically, I'll be taking 1/8 of an inch off each end because then you get the right scoring on that. So I hope you enjoyed that. As you see, it does fold flat in either direction for postage, but you get that nice look of distance. And as I say, that's the order that I would put them in. So have the single Christmas tree at the front, then the church, then the double Christmas tree, and you're good to go. You can even just about see the little snowman in the back there. Can you see that? Yes, there he is. If you wanted to, you could add a bit of Wink of Stella to some of it to glisten it up, but I actually quite like the fact that it's a flat finish. I hope you enjoyed that. If you would like to see more, please hit the subscribe button down here. If you did enjoy it, please give it a thumbs up and then jump over to my online store to get the bits you need. Remember to use the Hostess Code for a chance to win the free stamp set. And I will see you again very soon. What are we doing tomorrow? Oh, I don't know yet. Haven't planned tomorrow yet. So I will see you very soon. Well, tomorrow, hopefully. All the best. Bye!